Men must cater to me and all I have to do is sit here and look pretty and that should be enough for him. Sweetie, if you think being pretty is unique these days, that's just like having arms and legs. When did that become a standard that all you have to do is just sit back, do nothing, scroll on your phone all day and just be a pretty face? To me, that is the most boring thing of all time. And that is the biggest lie that social media is telling these women. No, what do you bring to the table? I'm not saying you have to be the breadwinner or make crazy money. But if you're just sitting on your butt, not cooking or cleaning or using any gifts and talents that you have, that is so unattractive. Let's break it down to the beginning of time, the competent wife. Now, as I skim through, she brings him good and not trouble. She seeks out the wool. She's like a fleet of merchant ships, bringing him food from a distance. She gets up while it is still night, providing food for her household. She surveys the field and acquires it. She works energetically. It's not all about me, 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 me. It's about we're a team. She takes care of the house. She's an entrepreneur. She feeds mouths. Where does that say? She just sits, looks pretty, and does nothing. And of course, you can't do everything all the time, but that just shows what do you bring to the table.
Why are you doing this? Hello, I'm 22 and I'm a student at university. You know what's crazy is it's never occurred to me to destroy something when trying to get my voice out there. I've always just used my voice, and if that didn't work, speak louder. But that does not mean that you go to businesses that you don't agree with and you vandalize them. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't help anybody. If anything, you just made them have to contract out a cleaner. You know, it doesn't do anything. What would do something is actually being proactive instead of reactive, but that's a lot to ask some of these assholes.
This is to all my trans women out there. You know that we deserve love. That we deserve such a pure love because we love so hard. These men aren't. I am so sick and tired of nurturing these broken men. We may not be able to give you a biological baby, but no matter what, the love that we give to certain people in our lives will fulfill that more than blood. Because you know why? Our community has proven that time and time again. I don't need a man who is basing love on science.
I feel like y'all put yourselves in these positions to get hurt. And then when you get hurt, you throw a tantrum. You basically just said, our love that we have to offer is so much more meaningful than wanting a genealogical legacy. Who do you think you are? You know, I do feel bad, right? It's sad because these people are told every day that it's just so easy to flip the switch. You can have everything you want and everybody's gonna go along with it. And if they don't, they should, yet it's not that easy. It's not that easy to get rid of reality. I mean, from the looks of it, it looks like you've been transitioning for a while, possibly starting in your teens. From a young age, these people are being sold false dreams and hopes, when in reality, you're never truly going to be the thing that you're seeking. And now we're here. It's sad, man.
We in bad shape, man. We in bad shape. What is this? What is this? What do we have here? Why is a man catching a stray from every community? Why can't men just be left alone? You wonder why men walk away from dating? They literally cannot make anyone happy. It's always a man's fault. Always.
20s, before I got in the relationship that I was in for a long time. Now I'm single again, okay? But when I was younger, I was not very confident in how I felt. I don't think I looked as cute. I think I was always cute, but I was not as cute. You know, I don't think I had an interesting life yet. I think I was ambitious, but I was still working out the kinks. I got approached left, right, and center. So many people wanted to take me on dates.
If you're going to make a video and you're looking for insight from other people, do not go to the comment section and only like the comments that validates what you already believe. Let me explain. When she made this video, she said that when she was younger and she was insecure and less accomplished, she got way more men to approach her than now when she's older, more accomplished, and very confident. Now, some of the comments in her comment section are other women saying that men are not approaching her because they are insecure of her confidence, which is not the case. There's two things that I believe is happening here. One, it's a very thin line between confidence and arrogance. A lot of people tend to come off extremely arrogant sometimes when they are very accomplished, and that is a turnoff for both men and women. Now, that could be the case. I'm not saying it is with her. Number two, the internet is filled with women on here telling men to not approach them while they're in public. Just 2 days ago, I reacted to a video where a girl was sitting at a bar. The guy walked by her and she got disgusted by it. Those are the type of videos that men are seeing where women are saying, don't approach us. So they're going to listen to that. So if you have an issue with men not approaching you, take it up with the women that are making those videos being disgusted with men just existing.
This is insane. I think I've heard of this, but hearing about it and seeing it is totally different.
Not guilty of...
A man rescued a woman who was almost hit by a car in broad daylight, but was accused of harassment by the woman. 32-year-old Daniel Reed saw a woman named Jessica Moore looking down at her phone and walking straight onto the road. At this moment, a car was speeding towards us. With only a few seconds left before the collision, Daniel reacted quickly and grabbed the woman, pulling her back. In that moment, the car passed by. The clear surveillance footage confirms that it was his actions that prevented a serious accident from happening. But surprisingly, Jessica officially filed a lawsuit accusing Daniel of inappropriate behavior and infringing on her personal space. Her legal team argued that even in emergency situations, no one has the right to touch others without their consent. Daniel was shocked by this. He stated that he was only trying to save people at the time and had no malicious intentions. The surveillance footage also clearly showed that he immediately released his hand after pulling the woman to a safe area. This case has sparked heated discussions nationwide, with millions of netizens believing that Daniel's actions deserve praise rather than punishment. Daniel also insists that his original intention to save people was pure and unique. Do you think his approach is correct?
I mean, that woman would have gotten plowed. And I just don't get it. And for you to think, oh, assault? I don't get it. I really don't. That's the first thing that you think of versus saying, oh, thank you so much. The least I can do is let me buy you lunch. He would have probably declined, but let me do something for you. Give me your Cash App. Let me send you some money. Let me buy you coffee. Let me do something. I insist. We want to have you over for dinner. I insist, me and my family. What day is good for you? No, I don't want. What day is good for you? Oh, no, I wasn't doing it. I just want to I insist. You saved my life. What day is good for you? That's the least I can do. I would not be here if it was not for you. I insist. Please, grace us with your presence. What do you like to eat? Anything for you. We got you. Instead of saying that, you say, matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to lie on you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take you to court. I'm going to drag you through the mud. It's no doubt. This was probably on the news. No doubt. Really, man? That's what you come up with? I can't think that this is real, man. I just can't. I'm doing some research on it. There's no way. I mean, even if she made that claim and we had footage of this, I don't think this is real, man. There's no way you're going to let this go to court. It'd be one thing if it was an open and shut, oh yeah, he did this to you. But I don't know, maybe rather foolishly, I don't think this is real. Maybe this is AI or something like that. That's what I'm sticking to, man. I'm doing research. I'm not seeing a single news source on it. No, man. No, this is not real. There's no way they'll let this go to court.
I hate men. I've heard this from women my entire life. It's so common these days to hear women say, all men are blank. Men ain't. And grouping them together and casting a judgment on the entire thing. And I've just never felt that way. In circles of women, they would often say, well, you probably don't feel this way towards men because you haven't experienced blank, insert the plethora of traumatic instances that can happen with men. And when I would share my stories that I often had, they would be like, well, you have all the reason to hate men, why don't you? Women's resentment towards men is not entirely misplaced, obviously. Look around at the world, abroad, and in our own local communities. When I think of the main reasons why women feel such hatred towards men, I just don't see a world where we correct those issues without men. Often the force required to correct the ferocity of evil-filled men is the ferocity of good-filled men. Obviously, women too. Men in their grounded, higher state are a force to be reckoned with. Okay, quick story time. I was a teenager walking into a store with my little brother, and to my right, a car pulls up full of men, waving a gun, trying to coerce me to get into the car and kidnap me. I moved my brother to the side, and as I did, this old cowboy was walking out of the store towards us, saw everything that was happening, and he puts his hand on his back pocket to reach for his gun, and the car saw what he was doing and immediately drove off. And I'll never forget this moment because it was this crazy juxtaposing scene of men in their absolute unhinged nature, and then men in their beautiful protector, higher nature for someone he didn't even know. And it really did show how men can be a part of the solution to the problems they also create. I don't know if you know, but men account for 80% of the suicides in the United States. And I encourage you to listen to this incredible podcast. I have it up right here. It's called Young Men Are Quietly Giving Up. And this really alarms me as we're moving into a time where we really, really need strong men. Many women have absolutely no freedoms in different corners of the earth. And I'm just going to speak to the modern Western world for a second. In women's attempts and pursuit for male accountability, I feel like it has hardened so many women's outlook of men altogether. And you got a modern dynamic now where women are walking around incredibly jaded, and they project this energy onto men in their entirety, and then feel a lot of resistance to having accountability themselves. Like a collective grievance that turned into an absolving of looking into the mirror. We can so often become the archetype of the thing we protest. I believe reestablishing a sense of sacredness between this is going to be a big part of the solution here. And both have a lot of work to do here. Objectification is such a big part of this to men. And I hope we can continue to hold men accountable while also as women taking ownership of the parts that we should. Like when we electively objectify ourselves and further feed into that energy that in the end doesn't serve us, and be a bit honest with that. I'm curious if you've had a journey with your relationship to men and how you see us all walking forward unified together.
I just had an epiphany. I'm unemployed. I live with my parents. I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have a husband. I don't have kids. I'm a loser. I'm a loser.
3 hours later.
A 34-year-old woman is demanding her ex-boyfriend pay compensation, claiming he stole her childbearing years. After nearly a decade together, she says her 38-year-old ex ended things just as she was ready to start a family. She said she put her career and her goals on hold, believing they'd have kids, and now wants him to cover fertility treatments like egg freezing or IVF. Now, the story from the New York Post has gone viral, sparking a debate. Some call it justified. Others say it's absurd to blame an ex. Legal experts say her case wouldn't hold up in court, but it is raising some questions about love, timing, and who really pays the price when relationships end. So what do you think? Does she have a point?
Stop letting people put an expiry date on you. Like when people are like, by this age, you shouldn't be doing this. Says who? Says who? Like, just because our parents weren't, that's not our fault. Our parents also had us when they were like 17. Okay? I'm here childless at 30. I'm going to do whatever I want. So you are not milk. Do whatever you want.
Would you live on a planet with just women?
Yeah, I for sure would. Always gonna be a girl's girl.
Would you live on a planet with just women?
Heck yes.
Live on a whole planet with just women?
Absolutely.
Basically, all the women said yes and all the men said no. They're forgetting the fact that men actually like women. And for some reason, women think it's not cool to like men, and they're embarrassed to tell other women that they might actually like men, because that will make less women like you than if you say you dislike men, and I speak from experience. On top of that, ladies, who's gonna run the world if there are no men? I mean, who's gonna make sure everything works properly, that we have food, that we have clothing, that we have heating, that we have electricity? Who's gonna, you know, do all that, since men do the majority of the hard stuff that keep us alive? You know what I'm saying?
You guys, I asked my grandfather today, what does it look like when a wife submits to a husband? And he says when she renounces her ego. Do you guys know how deep that is? when she renounces her ego. And this generation is literally teaching us to feed our egos. It's teaching society, the women today, to be women in male fields. But when you learn to renounce your ego, you can let go of your pride. You know that you can be 100% right in a situation, but yelling in his face is not going to do anything, because you know that prayer works. Renouncing your ego, allowing him to lead even when he's still figuring things out, but still trusting the fact that God is going to speak to him. Renouncing your ego, allowing him to be wrong, right? Be wrong and then come back later and say, hey, I was wrong. But you're not rubbing it in his face that he's wrong and that he never listens to you. But you realizing that, allowing him to sit in the moment. You begin to learn that he does better when you tell him what he's doing right instead of what he's doing wrong. You learn that even suggesting to him is more impactful than demanding him. So when he said that, it radicalized my mind. It changed my perspective on many things, and it made me want to become more Christ-like as a woman. It did. And it made me realize that, man, when God sends my husband, yo, that man gonna be blessed. All this wisdom that I'm getting, yo, that man gonna be blessed, yo.
Boys, be boys.
Amen.
Be boys. It's okay. Be boys. It's nothing wrong with being a boy. How about that?
Amen.
How powerful is that? How profound is that?
Amen.
Boys will be boys, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Just to show you how messed up the world is, you actually had celebrities that had a problem with what Nicki just said. In fact, Cardi B said it was embarrassing that Nicki was on stage being blatantly transphobic. Because Nicki said, boys, it's okay to be boys. Well, I got news for you. Over here in the Be No Nation, we don't got no problem with what Nicki said. The standard is the standard.
Honestly, if you would have said basically anyone else besides Mariah Carey and Cardi B, then I think maybe it would have been something that you would have looked into. But I think Cardi B and Nicki Minaj had a little bit of a back and forth not too long ago. So I'm not 100% sure those two like each other.
I need my partner to be louder than me. Like how my son is, my son will literally, my mommy, she write books. You know, we went to the Black Women's Expo and he had my business cards going around and he took the book. He, mommy, can I sell this book? And I'm like, okay, go ahead. I don't know how he sold it, what he said, how he said it, but he sold the book. And the lady followed him to the table. He had this my mom right here, she write book and she'll sign it for you too. And the lady was like, your son a good salesman. She said, I needed to come and meet you. So if you're not supporting me like that, even my friend, I will stop talking to you about that.
Somebody in the comments said, so her son had to put in the work she was too lazy to do. And she wants her man to do the same? Nah. Another person said her son is the standard. He's already the man of the house. So there's no room for another man. She'll stay single. Probably so. Another person said their sons be their men until they grow up. That's pretty much it. Their son be their man. his son essentially, you know, for all intents and purposes, be their husband. And then another person said, I think what we were all thinking, for her drawers are showing. I don't know what you came up there wearing, but come on, guys.
Who wants your time and energy but doesn't do anything to make your life easier so that you have more time and energy is a waste of your time and energy.
No, I definitely do agree on this. I mean, if a man has intentions to, you know, date you and wants to be with you, he's going to give you his energy and time. So, yeah, she's right.
No, she's not right. Just the way she's speaking right now, it lends itself to superiority. She's speaking as if she's superior to the man. You know, when you say something that actually sounds intelligent, but it's not, upon further review, this is what this sounds like to me. I mean, but there's more to the video, but I'm not listening. Like if I were to hear her speaking, I'm not listening to this straight off the bat.
A lot of women fail themselves because they don't recognize the inherent value and power that they possess simply by virtue of their own existence.
And yes, man, she's definitely right about that. There's a lot of women out there who just look good, and from them existing, men will simp and pay their bills. So she's definitely right. Women do have life on easy mode.
I mean, look at the way she's holding the mic. Just her whole entire look. It tells you she's about to say something that's off the rails. It tells you just her whole energy, in my opinion. It tells you the presentation is where it's supposed to be. You look at the way her eyebrows are, her makeup, even her haircut, right? The mascara just like so, the lip combo color just like so. She's even dressed with the way everything is in its proper place. And then the energy is, I'm giving dominant, I'm giving powerful, and I have to present to you a powerful woman. For you women out there that don't know what a powerful woman looks like, it's me. For you men out there who have run into these weak women, you're not going to play these games with me. I'm strong, I'm powerful. Look at her sit up tall. And that's not necessarily a bad thing to sit up tall. It's just with all of the other factors, you're playing games. You're not saying anything that anybody needs to hear. But again, I could be wrong.
The woman represent the divine feminine. You represent the creative principle. You are creation. You are magnetism, expansion, multiplication.
I mean, we could cut it off right here, but you know.
And men know this, which is why they spend their entire lives, and every single goal that they have is so that they can gain more access to as many women as possible.
Okay, now she's speaking womanese, and she kind of lost me. But to rebuttal her argument, I'll just say that men are the ingredients and women are the kitchen. Without us, there's no life. Without us, there's no you. So it's yin and yang. We work together better than we do apart. Now, she is right about men wanting multiple women because of biology. We want to procreate. Without men wanting to have multiple women, we wouldn't be here.
And the reason why they want to have access to as many women as possible is because they're disconnected from that feminine energy, that feminine essence within themselves.
Now, I cut her off because she was going to say the most dumbest, idiotic ever. She had me in the first half. I'm not going to lie. She probably had most of us. Yeah, she's basically just saying a man's main goal is to drain energy from women, and that is not the case. We're trying to give you energy. We're trying to give you our nut, our sperm, so you can make babies, so we can continue the cycle of human life. And I guess her argument is to say, like, women are the prize, and okay, I guess you can want to say that if you are a woman. My main thing is, why do most women want a superior, somebody who's better than them in every single aspect of their life? More money, taller, stronger, but then you're the prize. Now, as I come to my conclusion about all of this, is a lot of women say femininity is the best thing, which I agree, it is very necessary. But why do a lot of women say I have to be masculine until a guy comes in my life and puts me in my feminine? That means that masculinity is necessary for survival. All that other she was saying wouldn't be possible without masculinity.
She didn't have me anywhere within 30 seconds. The first stanza of listening to her, you already know where she's going to go. Modern women like this, look in their eyes. Look at what they're talking about. Just observe their overall energy, the vibe that's coming from them. You already know what she's about to say. What you're trying to do is give her the benefit of the doubt. You already knew what she was about to say. What you're trying to do is what a lot of men try to do. I don't want to be a contrarian. I don't want to be the person that's always shooting down women's ideas and feeling like, you know, I'm kicking women down and I'm not celebrating women. I don't want that to be me. I don't want y'all to be sitting out here saying, oh, you don't support women, you hate women. I don't want that to be me. So I'm trying to really listen to your argument and trying to see if, you know, what's right and what's wrong. Maybe what she's saying makes sense What I'm saying is her energy is off. She's just talking. She's not really saying anything that's gonna stick. It's not gonna hold. Her vibe, the whole thing is wrong.
Okay, so I had to touch on this real quick because this is what, we be talking about sometimes, where you have women that are educated, that look like they carry themselves with class, and then all of a sudden they start dressing like this. Like, I just don't understand, as a woman of your demeanor and your stature, why this would be your dress of choice. Now, and think of like most professional women, right? Most women that are in careers that require you to present yourself in a professional manner, cover yourself up. Things should be left to your imagination. Matter of fact, that should be a tagline that a lot of women who consider themselves classy women should follow by or adhere by, is leave stuff to the imagination. You got on a bra and panty set and a sheer dress, but yet you stretch your stuff all on social media, giving advice about relationships. But I'm trying to figure out whatever partner that you choose is going to be okay with that, unless it's a certain type of man that's of the streets. Okay. This is not appropriate. This is not appropriate at all. You're in a bra and panty set and you're supposed to be giving out advice, to other people, especially in regards to relationships. I don't know where this would be appropriate with that type of persona that you're giving off. And this is where it gets misleading. Like, this is why a lot of women feel like it's okay to soar professionally. Okay, so you're elevating and doing what you need to do in your career, but yet you're walking around and choosing attire that is the exact opposite of what you're supposed to represent. And that be the confusion. Like, how can you teach people how to move and what to do if you are not adhering to what you are also sharing with everybody, what you're trying to teach everybody? And this is why you got to filter out and look at the source of who's teaching, about relationships. Like, everybody is not going to give good advice, and everybody's not even adhering to the advice that they're giving. This is not how you should be dressing. This is why I just don't understand why this was her choice of dress. Like, I wouldn't even feel comfortable. I'm 38 and I wouldn't feel comfortable walking around like that. Okay. And I am in shape. I'm a pretty fit chick. Okay. And I still, when nobody deserves, even the fact that whether you're single or married, I'm married. So yeah, that's just off rip, but we're not doing that. But even as a single woman, leave stuff to the imagination. There's no reason why you should be walking around like this if you ain't no woman of the night.
When do you know that it is time to walk away from that relationship?
When I'm done. Like, you've been a headache for too long, baby. It's time to walk away. You don't want to argue no more. You don't supposed to. Everybody gonna argue in a relationship, but when you done doing all that, it's over with.
So when you done arguing?
When I'm done. When I'm done arguing, I'm done. When you're not showing no effort, the same thing, I'll be done.
So the man is not showing no effort to do what you want him to do, or?
No, just keep going through the same thing. Like we've been in this for years.
I'm done being confused at what the f you talking about. That's what I'm done with. I'm done trying to decipher what code are you speaking in. Can you please talk in complete sentences so maybe I would know what you was done with? That's why we done. Every time I try to understand what the hell you want me to do, pretty with, you just say, oh, I'm done. God damn it. Speak in English, please. That way we can understand what the actually we did to do to be done. See, communication be off. A lot of these women want niggas to do. Can't goddamn pronunciate what they supposed to goddamn tell the man to do. How the hell I'm gonna do what you want me to do if you can't say what you want me to do?
I am getting on here to just share my thoughts about being 30-something and not having a boyfriend, not having kids, and not being married. Have been so sad. I've been so depressed because I thought that I would have a family by now. I thought that I would at least be engaged or in a relationship at the minimum, and I'm not. And I'm getting older, and I'm getting scared. Am I gonna be on here one day coming to terms that I'm just gonna be single? Like, it doesn't even sound right.
So how is it a woman, when are so thirsty for anything, you couldn't find a man to be your boyfriend that you wanted back? You couldn't find a suitable man to get to marry you? Because you're the problem. Like I said earlier, you be annoying as and don't even know it. No man is going to tell you, because they not me. So they just going to not take you serious, or they just
So
going
why
to
do you think
leave you.
I've been single for so long? I'm the problem?
Yes.
Why am I the problem?
For a multitude of reasons.
Tell me.
Oh, here we go. We did this on a podcast already.
Okay, well, tell me again.
You don't know how to speak. I always correct you. Like, did you hear the other day I text you? I was like, text me again in the right way, because you don't know how to text, and you don't even know, because you've never heard a loving conversation. You've never been around a woman in a loving conversation to be, what is it called? Not sensitive, just womanly. You know what I'm saying? So
But
therefore,
when I'm too sensitive, you have a problem with that.
no, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I
You
don't.
be like, you too sensitive.
No,
blah,
but
blah,
listen,
blah,
all right, just
blah, blah.
hear me out, because you have the same problem that my baby mama had. You have the same problem a lot of women I know have, because you've never seen a successful relationship. You don't know how a woman is supposed to talk to a man. But most dudes are not me, so I can correct you. I can see what you're doing and say, hey, listen, that's not how you speak to me. This is how you need to speak to me. So I can correct it. The average man's not going to do that. They don't even know how to do that.
Why on earth would a false accusation carry the same amount of prison time as a grape? You are honestly telling me that you believe a liar and a rapist should spend the same amount of time in jail? Whenever men say this, it honestly just shows me how they downplay grape, and they don't understand how harmful grape truly is to a victim.
When people in society say things like this, what they're trying to do is take accountability away from women and put blame on men. This is nothing new. The whole, oh, well, it shouldn't carry the same weight, right? It's the exact same ideology as, even if a woman is beating you to death, you should never ever hit her back. It's saying a woman can do whatever she wants, and we are not going to hold her accountable. Right, because the mere fact that the majority of men that I know and that you know, if you ask them when they lost their virginity, they'll give you a story about how they were a very, very young child losing their virginity to a grown-ass woman. Yeah, those men have no idea what it's like to be a victim, right? The men that get assaulted every single day, the men at clubs, bouncers, bars. A man was just assaulted on Twitch, are you joking? Dragged into a room, thrown on a bed, and women were trying to tear his clothes off and rob him. And yeah, false allegations should carry the same weight, because false allegations are taking lives every single day. Whether a man is losing his life because he's incarcerated, or he's lost his life because he was murdered, or because he took his own life, which has happened to very many men. Let's not forget Inquisitor Ghost. Look at India. India has a massive issue with false allegations, because like, a woman can't just falsely accuse a man. She can falsely accuse a man and his entire family, and they will all be shamed and or put in jail. And this just like happens all the time. Like, it's perfectly normal. So to answer your question, why on earth wouldn't a false allegation carry the exact same weight as the crime itself? Man gets falsely accused, he loses everything. There will be people forever that will always look at him, labeling him to that crime that he never committed. So give me a break. Hold women accountable. Thank you.
There is nothing that I hate more than the man who have a strict program. Because what you mean you done with me because I had an attitude today and I'm too old and I should have communicated? And you for real? Oh no, chest be caving in. You don't give no second chances for real? Leave the strict programs for us women. I can't stand no man that's strict. I need about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 chances. Tops. Like, what? What you talking about? You done with me for real. Still over there with that.
Now, this is a funny video. But definitely like this video. Go to this young lady page. Watch some of her other videos for a bunch of original content. She makes a bunch of good stuff. Good job, mama. I'm not strict. I'm structured. Big Daddy ain't got time to play with you. I'm going to fire you, Trick. I sure is. Because one thing I've learned growing up, you will never lose women chasing money. You will always lose money pursuing women. That woman wants to violate your boundaries. You ain't got time to be explaining nothing to no full-grown adult. People know exactly what they're doing. They just want to test those waters. You just got to make sure their ass get burned when they do it. But leave your comment in the comment section. But y'all supposed to be grown. You can do what y'all want to do.
Basically, strict meaning discipline. I think we're too grown for you to be this disciplined with me. I think I'm too pretty for you to be this disciplined. I should be the one woman that's special enough to crack the code and make you say, oh, well, I usually do this, But, you know, for you, I can't help it. She's just so beautiful. I can't help it. She just looks so good. I gotta give it a credit card. You know, I say spend it all. I'm just gonna work it off and pay it. What? Who does that? What a weirdo.
As a man, why would you say the word no? That is a very feminine word, especially when you use it with a woman. It is not nice, and we need you to tap into your masculinity. Show us that you can still get it done. Say, not right now, maybe later.
I agree, it's very feminine. Me, myself, I use the choice words of no. Not right now and maybe later leaves a little hope, just a little hope that it might get done. I need you to know it ain't gonna happen. I said no.
Is like the minimum for a first date. Effort-wise, monetarily, what do you think?
I think dinner, because dinner means that you have good intentions, and that you have formal, like, okay, like, this is serious.
Yeah.
I think doing anything outside of like a formal dinner, it shows that you probably are a little more on the immature side, or you're just like not taking the girl's time seriously.
Okay.
I think price point, I don't think there is one, as long as like the place is nice.
And they're showing effort.
You could go to a nice place that's $100, and you could go to a nice place that's $500 for a meal. But like as long as it's a good time and it's good vibes, I feel like it doesn't matter.
I think she's poor and hungry, because what do you mean a dinner date can cost you anywhere between $100 to $500? Nobody doing all that. Now, I'm not against dinner dates, but women like this, you don't take the dinner. In my opinion as well, you only really offer dinner dates to 20% of the women you take on dates. But on average, it's always safe to go with just drinks. Even in terms of what you spend on the first date, you don't need to be spending that much money. Now, sometimes I'll admit, at worst case scenario, and that's after going to 2 different spots, I might spend like $120 on the first date. That's even with dinner included, but you don't need to be spending a ludicrous amount of money for a first date. Women that tell you you have to take them to dinner for a first date, that's the last one you need to take for a first date, to a dinner spot. When does that even become the metric for standard dating? Like, these are literally standards that people are just making up out of their sleep every single day. So you don't really have to listen to women that speak like this. And also be very careful about women that do speak about dating in this manner, because women like this, she is looking for what type of monetary value you can bring to the table. Now, she's trying to mask it as, oh, if you really like me and you're interested, you'll take me to dinner. No, she just wants to see how deep your pockets are. So there's ways to tell if a woman is actually there because she likes you, she cares about you, or she's looking for someone to be her provider and caretaker, and also make sure that she's well fed every single week. These are women, gentlemen, you avoid by a long shot. Nothing about this screams high value. This just screams she needs money, and it looks like you're probably her monthly food stamp. Trust on baddies only.
The world as we know it is about to end. And the reason being is because men can't marry multiple women. Now, I know that sounds like an exaggeration, but I'm not being sarcastic. I'm not even trying to rage bait. I'm going to tell you the facts. So back in the day, the church came with a rule that said, if you don't have a son, we're going to keep 100% of your inheritance. So if you married a woman and she was infertile or only had daughters and you died, 100% of your income, your jewelry, your property would go to the church, which is one of the reasons they're so freaking rich, is because they literally took the money from all the men who couldn't have sons. Now, that being said, what happened? They made you get monogamous. Why? Because if you had multiple wives, the chances of you having a son go up, which means they can't rob you. So now you got monogamous, and then that became a cultural norm. Now, what religion doesn't believe in monogamy? They believe in polygamy. Well, Islam. Islam's growing faster than any other religion in the world. As a matter of fact, in the next 20 years, all of London, all of the UK is going to be majority Muslim. Same with Europe in the next 30 to 40 years. And that's happening all over the world, not just because of a cultural reason, not just because of immigration, but because of the fact that they can marry multiple women and have 3 to 4 kids per woman. So if you have 5 or 6 wives, you had multiple women. Well, here we are. Most of us in the US, divorce rates are over 50%. Most people aren't even having kids anymore, right? Half the population is not going to reproduce. And within 100 years, we're going to have a population that's half the size of what it is now. So I highly suggest, if I was in the government, I would make marrying multiple women legal. I would allow us to reproduce, because if we don't do it, we're going to have the opposite problem. Now, a lot of these elitists think we have a population growth problem. We have too many people on the earth. So they want us to die. That's actually the opposite of the case. We have too few people on the planet, And we need to start reproducing quickly. You need to be at a growth rate, like a reproduction rate of 2.1 kids per woman. Because the 10%, the 2.1, 2 counts for your mom and your dad. And the 0.1 is, 10% of people might not reproduce. They might die. They might get sick. They might be infertile. God knows what. So 2.1% to maintain the population. Anything above that is a growing population. Now, what do you think our population is? Our percentage is here. We're at 1.8, which means we are declining very, very rapidly. Anything below 1.9, almost impossible to come back from. The only solution, and this is actually a solution, is to have multiple wives. Now, you might be sitting there saying, that's crazy. Biologically, do you know why women, when they're around other women, have the same period? Because your menstrual cycle syncs up, so the alpha female makes sure no other female can mate with the alpha male, the husband, while she's on her period. It's a way to conserve her resources and make sure she gets pregnant first. So, super interesting. Share this, and let's increase our population here in the US. Let's change the world. I'm not even kidding. There's a reason women are more attracted to men who can have multiple women. Now, the feminism propaganda, all that, who do you think you are? Listen, I'm not asking you. That's our biology. That's been our biology. And for those of you that are religious, go look at Abraham, go look at Jacob, go look at all of our prophets. All of them had multiple wives. Why? Because God believes in this. This is how he made us. So share this video and let's have multiple wives again.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but if your man asks you to not dress half naked or post bikini thirst traps, it's not because he's a controlling, insecure narcissist. It's because he doesn't want other men to have access to what he has. This is just primal nature in men.
She started off by saying, I don't know who needs to hear this. Every goddamn last one of you. And let me make something clear. If he asks you not to post bikini pics, it doesn't mean that he can't be toxic. It just means that that is not toxic. By definition, as a single or taken woman, posting bikini pictures of yourself is degrading. You should value yourself and access to your body visibly and physically more than that. And yeah, we're over that stage where like, I'm posting for my friends. We all know it's for your self gratification. And that goes for men and women. More importantly, why is this even an argument? Why can't women just realize that if your man asks you to do something out of pure respect for him, you should just do it? If that ever comes at the cost of your health or overbearing or stupid, then leave. But as long as you're staying with him, you should do what he says and he should have authority within the relationship. See, most of these arguments and disagreements we have is stupid because you could just ask yourself, does it really matter? No. So let me just do it even if I don't agree, just to give him the peace of mind. If you desperately needed an explanation, I'm sure you could communicate that constructively. But if not, then just take a deep breath, delete the pictures, move on with your relationship. At the end of the day, it comes down to intention. What do you really want to achieve out of life? And most of you glorify this single independent woman life. Trust me, it's not all it's cracked up to be. And that's coming from a man that attracts a lot of women and generally stays clear of the 35-year-old chatterboxes. As a woman at 35 years old being single, you've literally lost all your leverage.
This is my 2026 strict program list. I will not be explaining or elaborating any further. With that being said, here we go. If you got more than one kid, cut. If you got more than one baby dad, cut. If your baby dad is crazy, cut. You will not be getting meat shots. You had a baby with that psychopath. Let him kill you. If you sell content, cut. I will not be with a woman whose booty hole is accessible for $4.99 a month. Cut. If you say stuff like, I don't date men who don't help me, cut. If your feet are ugly, cut. If you don't cook, cut. If you don't like physical affection, cut. If you don't believe in reciprocity, cut. If you ever say, I'm just a girl for like serious stuff, not cute stuff, cut. If you're a beggar, cut. Don't make everything due as soon as you meet me. You was paying the bills before me, paying while you're with me. Cut. If you listen to the Sprinkle Lady or Drew Alfuelo, cut. I'm a stand-up comedian, so if you don't think I'm funny at all, cut. If you never come to a show, cut. If you're abstinent or celibate, I respect your decision, but cut. If you don't give Gok 3000 or that huck to, cut. If you're a mean girl, a bully, or you're just angry all the damn time, cut. If you think being mean is somehow cute and I'm supposed to like that, cut. If you're the type of person that doesn't know how to accept being treated right, every time I try to do something nice for you, you make it seem like it's weird or wrong, cut. If you self-sabotage, cut. Bitch, you will not be starting arguments with me for no reason and creating problems that aren't there because you don't love yourself. Go heal. Cut. If you don't know how to apologize, cut. And if you act helpless as soon as you get around me, cut. Bitch, you are still an adult. I know you're my baby. I know you're a princess, but you're not helpless. Don't act helpless. Cut.
Why chase 20-year-olds when 40-year-old women already know what they want?
Because most 40-year-old women come with a lot of baggage, and they box be already used and abused. And they might be good looking on the outside, but them insides be having a void.
Hey y'all, this is part number 5682 of how women, in fact, themselves. So I saw a video of a young girl, couldn't have been no more than 10 years old. She looked like she may have been on band, one of the majorette dancers, what have you, right? Had on a little crop top, booty shorts, and gyrating all over a gymnasium. Half dressed, dancing, pop locking, and doing whatever other inappropriate moves she was doing all over the gymnasium of her school. And can you guess who was in support of it in the comments? That's right, the women.
Oh my gosh, she's killing it. Oh, look at her. Go girl. Yes, yes, slay. Oh my God.
You know who was not in support of this behavior? The men. In particular, the black men, because this was a black child that was doing the dancing. The men were in the comments like, how could anyone be okay with this? I would never. My daughter would never. This is inappropriate. What is wrong with y'all? And of course, this is in a gymnasium. So there's grown men all around that she's doing this in front of, potential predators, as you all like to say. And you just threw your daughter into the lion's den, right? Right? But no, the men, it's the men's fault. They did this. No, we're accountable. We are the nurturers. We are our children's first teacher. And you're teaching her that it's okay to expose her body and do all of this at a very young age. So who's to be held accountable in that situation? Let me see how creative y'all can be with still blaming this on the man.
No, actually, feminism created equality for women, and feminism did this, and feminism did that. No, feminism stopped you from being accountable for yourself, right? Because men are created this way to be providers and protectors and to make sure that they are taking care of women. And women are born feminine and not sluts. See, the big problem is you can't say what a real man is if you can't say what a real woman is in the same breath, right? If you can't allow a man to tell you how you're supposed to act, then you're not allowed to tell a man how he's supposed to act. I want you to tell me what a woman's role is, right? Because you say that masculinity, real, true masculinity, is a man that takes care of his woman and provides and protects. And a real man is somebody that acts like this. A real man is somebody that caters to women. So what is a real woman? Logic dictates that that means a real woman is somebody that caters to a man. Right? If a real man is somebody that makes sure that his woman doesn't have to worry about anything, then a real woman is somebody that takes care of their man so he doesn't have to worry about the other stuff. If at any point you feel as though a man should be a specific type of way to you, then you should also acknowledge that you have to be a specific type of way to a man. If you don't agree with that and you feel like a woman shouldn't have to do that and a woman should be able to be whoever she feels like and she shouldn't have to deal with all of the societal standards that have been created, then you should feel that same exact way about men. So you shouldn't be telling men how they feel or how they should act or what real masculinity is, because you don't want a man telling you how to be a woman. Just a little food for thought. If you're the type of woman that thinks that a man has to act in a certain way, then you also have to accept that that means you have to act in a certain way to receive a man of that status.
And no, that was not a very humble attitude. What I say is communication. That's all I say. Text me. Mm-hmm. It doesn't cost much. Just text me. Oh, I'm going to be late. I do that too. If I'm going to be late, I text. I'll be like, because I consider you. If you're not texting me anything, respect. You're not respecting me. And respect is everything. And that's just not just in
He got a red flag to respect. He said,
nope. Now, Steve, how do you throw up a red flag on and Sarah's saying red flag on respect?
He's saying respect, but he's not talking about respect.
And Kiara, what? Okay, Steve, why is that a red flag?
A little too strong, a little bit too much misunderstanding. I see where you're coming from, but not everyone is going at that angle at you. You know?
I perfectly understand. Like, not everybody, aligns with it, but I respect people.
You're just keeping it real.
I expect the same respect coming from everybody.
Neutral.
Not just girls.
Anybody.
Why is this even a conversation? What's the problem? You're going to be late. Let them know that you're going to be late. What is the argument even about?